Good morning. Thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia, and this is my regular Sunday Facebook Live. If you're overseas and you're feeling like I'm on at a strange time, it probably is. That's because we had daylight savings come in at 2 o'clock this morning, so I'm kind of 10 o'clock now, but it would have been 9 o'clock yesterday's time, so my body doesn't actually know what time zone I'm in. Hate daylight savings when it comes in. It sort of takes me a week to get over the jet lag, but we'll adjust. So let me show you what we're doing today. It is a really easy project for us just because of, say, daylight savings time. I knew that I was going to be feeling a bit not so fantastic. But so this is a cute little treat box, if I say so myself. So you can see that it's got that, and I haven't quite figured out what we're putting in here, but one of the little chocolates or even 2 or 3 little square chocolates would fit in there quite nicely, and I'm sure that anybody who gets it would be really happy to get it. So minimal products that we need for today. All that we need is the Humble Home bundle. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it's really cute, but I don't know if I need it. Once I've seen it and played with other people's, I need it. So we definitely need that. I don't know what I've got, something stuck onto the die, the punch here. Don't know what I got on there. Alright, never mind, I can deal with that later. So let's get going. And like I said, this is going to be really, really easy. I've put the measurements up in the description, so you've got your measurements for your box, and all that we're going to do is score that at 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch, all the way around. And if you wanted your box to be wider that way, you could adjust your measurement. I wouldn't go too much wider this way because you can see mine is slightly wider than the actual punch, but I'm okay with that because it was just too hard for me to try and figure out exactly what that measurement was. Okay, so we're just going to fold those, and then I'm just cutting down the 2 sides, and I like to just give my tabs a very little notch. I just find that it then folds easier and sits better when it's glued together. Don't know if I cut that very straight, but anyway, it'll work, it's fine. Okay, let's get rid of that. And then now I have 20 glues here again, and I've checked them all, but I don't know which is the one where the glue's actually coming out of. Maybe it's this one. There we go. I really need to move out all these glues or go and stick pins in them so that I get them unstuck. Hi Lynette. Alright, so all that we're doing is just gluing those tabs up the sides. And you can see that these two do overlap a little bit when they're on the inside. If it disturbs you, you can cut them down, but it doesn't bother me, so that's okay. You can, let's see, yep, can you see the inside there? So you do have that showing, but it doesn't matter, and I'm not going to be too worried about that either because that's going to be covered up by our house. So as easy as that, there's our little box made. And now let's do the house. So I'm keeping my house the same color as the box, but hey, go wild, you can change to whatever color you want. And of course, I don't have my crumb cake ink here. Checked everything 3 times. I even went back for the punch. Bought the wrong punch. I bought the truck punch from the other day. And now I don't have the crumb cake ink. But that's okay. I'm going to just stamp off. We're going to have sort of... Ooh, that did not stamp off very well. Cajun Craze bricks. Alright. So, I find it easier to stamp and then punch. It's easier for me to line up, and you're going to laugh at me because I've just said that. I'm going to punch this one, and then I'm going to do exactly what I've just said to you I prefer not to do, but I have a good reason for doing it, and I will explain that to you in a minute. Let's just punch that out, and then I'm going to punch another house out. Okay, now we all have our little neuroses, and mine is with this box. If I were to take that and put it on the back, the chimney is on the opposite side. Okay, so I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is take my punch, flip it over, and fortunately these bricks are symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way we stamp it. But here's the bit where I need to try and line it up. Heaven help us. Okay. Okay, not quite lined up, but not too bad. That'll do. I think it's actually quite close to the way I punched that one. So now I have my mirror image of the back of my house, and before I put that away, I hope I've got enough paper here. I just want to stamp the roof. So this is also in Cajun Craze, and I like it on the crumb cake, but because then when I'm getting that little edge, it's the same color as the rest of it. But if you wanted to do it in white, you absolutely could do it in white. I need to fussy cut, but I think before I fussy cut, let's just stamp out the other pieces that need to be fussy cut. So, stamping the door and the window. Ooh, that did not stamp at all nicely. Hang on. What's going on here? Let me just clean the stamp and try it again. Okay. Don't know why that's picking up ink there, but okay, that's all right. We'll cut it out. And you could use the same color windows, but of course I don't want to do that, so I'm going to stamp it again with Lemon Lolly, and all that I'm really concerned about here is the windows. So let's just stamp it down. There we go. Right, now let's do all the fussy cutting that we need to do. And we all know how excited I am about fussy cutting, but the door's not too bad to fussy cut. We do have the punches out the window, so if you wanted to, you can just fussy cut the windows at the same time, but I'm not going to, because at least if I punch them, I get nice straight windows. And let's just cut the roof over here. Now I'm cutting it with that slight edge around it. And the problem now is going to come in with the roof for the back of the house, because again, because I've turned it around, we need a reverse image for the roof. So there are a number of options for that one, and let's just finish cut. I obviously can't fussy cut and talk about different options at the same time because that was just too hard. Told you, daylight savings, jet lag. Okay, that's done. Now, what I did with this one was I stamped it exactly like that, and then I took my Cajun Craze marker and colored it in. But I have another one. This was actually the first one that I made, so it's a little bit, the box is slightly narrower. I think I preferred the wider box, but what I did on this one, which is what we're going to do with this one, is this one was early espresso, so I stamped the roof in early espresso on early espresso so that it was just tone on tone, but it doesn't matter, it can be whatever color you like, and then cut it out. So because my roof is the same color, it's just going to stick on whichever way it's supposed to go. And it is, I just think that I did something wrong here, but that's all right. So it doesn't have that little gap around it, but that's okay. And now we are ready to assemble. So making sure that you've got the right one, we're just going to stick the roof on. You can, of course, just stamp the roof directly onto here without going through the extra bit of cutting, but I like the kind of added dimension that it gives with the little gap. And the other thing, and yes, this is a me thing, but depending on how you've stamped the bricks, it may not be that easy to get the roof, because knowing me, I've stamped the bricks crooked, but at least that covers all of that. And then we're going to stick the door on. Now, if you're a bit worried about lining it up, you can go and stamp the door onto the house, but I'm not going to do that because then you'll just go and stick your pieces over the stamps. But we're just going to stick the door there. And I forgot to punch out the windows. This is really easy punching. So all we're going to do is line my window up in the square. Like I said, at least then I know that I'm getting a straight cut square, and my only issue is going to be how well I line the windows up, as to whether the white around them is exactly the same, but that I can live with if it's not. I know that Wolfgang will tell me, but there's more white on this side than there is on that side, but that's okay. I can't see straight at the best of times, and with my eye behaving like it is, I definitely can't see straight now. Alright, so we're just going to stick that on, and I don't even know whether my windows and my doors are stuck straight. But hey, it adds character to the house. There we go. And now, just be careful, you don't want too much glue, because you don't want the glue to go over the edge of your box. You can put the glue straight onto the box, but then just be careful not to go too far to the edges, because like I said to you, there is that little gap that's going to go on either side. And now, here's what I was saying. I think that I might have messed this one up, because when I cut it, I actually cut like directly on the edge of the stamp. I didn't cut with a little edge around it, and when it punches with that little edge around. So I'm not going to stick this on here right now. I'm going to just go and do another one, but you don't want to watch me fussy cutting another roof, so I'll do that one afterwards. And we're going to just stick that on the back. Okay, line up the bottom of the house with the bottom of the box, I'm now happy because my chimneys are on the same side, and you can decorate it however you like. If you want to put some bling or whatever, I'm just going to punch out another one of these little hearts. And oh, did I punch that? No, that's fine. It suddenly looked to me like I had, it must have just been shadow, that the heart had a square end instead of having a rounded end. So I'm using the same color as the door over there. You could put some bling. It's, oops, this one I just colored in and then fussy cut the wreath that's in the stamp set. I'm going to be going and doing another one which is going to be a little bit more Halloween-y, so watch for that. I think it'll be on my blog towards the end of this week. And now we need to just go and find what we're going to put into these so that I can hand them out. Alright, so those are our little houses for today. Like I said, really easy project so that I didn't have to strain my brain too much with daylight savings. Have a good week. I will be back again next week, and hopefully I will be less jet lagged than I am today. See you next week. Until then, bye.